Well, I think the title says it all. It's just another Saturday, and as you can see, some gorgeous weather as I'm heading out for a 123 or so kilometer ride. You see, it's out and back more or less. It's 60K out and 60K back. And I'm going to the monthly meeting, the third Saturday of each month. No idea how many people will turn up. The weather forecast has not been very good, but it's actually much nicer than it was supposed to be. And you can see here it's clear, crisp air, it's blue sky. It has been raining a lot, but now it's dry, and there's this pretty strong wind from the southwest, which makes for some nice and fresh air. Comments are in English today because this is for an international audience, particularly outside Germany and the Netherlands, where the Velomobile density is higher anyway. It's designed to provide you with a bit of eye candy in the second half of the video. The first half is the way to the first meeting point. This here is now the road between Bonn and Cologne. It's pretty good to ride because it's very quiet. The major highway is running in parallel, so all of the through traffic goes there anyway. And I'm turning off here to head for the Vorgebirge range, which is a mountain range along the River Rhine on its western side in my area. And it's about a 120-meter climb where I am crossing it on today's route. Normally I cross further to the south in Bonn, and there it's a bit more. It's probably 150 meter climb, but this one's a little bit lower. Goes through some area of farmland, a lot of vegetable growing, and you see the mountains in the distance there. That's the prehistoric sort of banks of the River Rhine when it was a huge prehistoric river. And nowadays it's very fertile ground. We like to ride there a lot. The valley behind the Vorgebirge is a bit higher, so you climb up, but on the other side you don't go down as far as you went up in the first place. Don't get bothered by the readings of speed and elevation. They are not always correct. Like here, you see the speed reading there. It's somewhat weird. I'm not filming with the Garmin Verb today as I usually do, but I took out the old Garmin Verb Elite, which has a different battery. It has a longer run time, and I wanted to try it out today because I got pretty frustrated with the short run times of the batteries provided with the Verb 360. And the last time that I used it, I didn't check the replacement battery, and so I lost the footage of the second half. Today I also lost some footage, but in the end, which wasn't that important anyway. There was some nice footage there, to be sure, but the more important thing is in the first and second half of this video. The first half shows you how it is to ride in my area on a Saturday late morning. Beautiful roads, very quiet, through villages and a lot of farmland. It's just paradise for velomobiles because yes, you do climb, but you have long stretches of flat road. Oftentimes you have a either slight incline or slight decline, which is very good to ride. Now here's a back road. I could take the main road, which has at times, like the back road has, an incline of more than 10%, but in all the car traffic it is not very nice to ride, so I prefer this one here. It is of course bumpy, as you can see, but I wouldn't want to ride it downhill, but uphill It is good to ride if you can live with the bumpiness, but it is quiet. There's no car traffic. Occasionally there will be a car, but that's really the exception to the rule. So now we're almost up, and I spare you the rest, and we zoom right into the ride beyond the climb. Okay, here we go. Careful here, because there are some bumps down there, particularly on this corner. You have to reduce speed, otherwise you'll be airborne. As I said, it's wonderful riding here. Very quiet, no traffic, and nearly perfect terrain for velomobiles. Beautiful, isn't it? I believe the Elite's image stabilization is worse than that of the Verb 360, so the ride here looks a bit rougher than in many of my other videos. Here comes a dangerous spot, where the big puddle of water is. There used to be a bump, and if you take that at the speed above 50, you could easily find yourself with all wheels up in the air. So you had to know how to take that section to control the velomobile. We have had some rather scary scenes over the years on this particular spot, but now it has been, I think it has been paved over, and it has lost its frightening aspects. Okay, we've now reached Witterschlick. Turn a left and then right again to pass by one of those common sites in this area. That is, every village has its castle, which usually is surrounded by a big old farm and its buildings, and this is one of them. Very well kept. Unfortunately, they keep the access road to the castle and the farm open, so you can pass through from two sides. I don't go there often, but sometimes I do, and it's always a nice sight. So a few kilometers more of country riding, then climbing halfway back up the Vorgebirge range, this time from the other side, to reach the train station of Libla. That's where the initial meeting point is. And much to my surprise, I see a couple of velomobiles already there, even though, meeting was at 12 and I'm 6 minutes early.
Hi. Hallo. Ich dachte, heute wäre ich der Erste. 11:54 Uhr. Mit Klaus hatte ich nicht vor 14 Uhr gerechnet.
That's quite a turnout. We would grow to 13 velomobiles over the course of the next half hour. There you see my Verb Elite on the hump of the M9. And we will later on meet 3 more velomobiles, 2 at the next meeting point and 1 meeting us on the road. But now it's time to take off. There was a flat that needed to be fixed, and we're a bit late. Meeting time was 12 o'clock noon, and now it's almost 12:40 as we depart for the second half of this ride, so the 30 kilometers, or about 30 kilometers from the train station here at Lipla to the Terra Nova restaurant pavilion at the Overlook. That's a place very close to the huge hole in the ground for brown coal mining. If you have seen my other videos, you've seen that we occasionally go there. It is very impressive in its own way, because it's one of the strong messages about the unsustainability of the a coal-based energy generation, with all of the environmental impact that has. But I provide you over the next 9 minutes or so, 8 minutes, with views from riding in a group of velomobiles. And I try to stick towards the end of the pod to give you some footage of how velomobiles behave on paths, trails, and roads. We start out with some suburban riding on trails. You see, it's nice riding, but it's slow. As always, when you ride in a larger group, you're not faster, you're slower. But the rest is mostly, as in this case here, it's open road. It's more fun to ride. And it's always, I think it's a feast for the eyes to see such a number of velomobiles fly along the country. Of course, we also have some farm roads, but what we always try to avoid is what happens now, is that here's a section with some pretty rough gravel and probably a number of potholes covered by water, so you want to avoid these. This is something that we normally don't do, and if I create the tracks, I try to avoid this. Oh, but so be it. You can see that, look at the wind turbine there. Winds are pretty strong today. So I took a little detour, and that got me to this point here, where I put in a biostop, watching the velomobiles appear in the distance from the right. So I wait here and let them turn onto that road before I start a chase and catch up with them. Okay, there's more. There's two more coming. Yes, the yellow one there is the last one, I believe. So it's time to get back into the velomobile and start chasing them. Oh, you can see them there, not too far away. Pretty soon I will be there. There they are. So it didn't take that long to catch up. And see, the last rider, he wasn't there when I departed from the group briefly. And so he has joined in the meantime. So we should be 12 now, no, 14 now, but we're actually only 12 because two took a slightly different route in one of the villages that we passed through, and we waited for them for a while, but they didn't show up again, so they must have taken another route. We met them again at the meeting point. But that happens when you're riding in a larger group. People should all have the track, but if they don't, another good opportunity for such rides is a flyby. You're here waiting for the group to pass me. Very nice. And the last one. This is typical for this region as we head northwest towards the coal mining area, is this large area with intensive farming. That means open countryside, big skies, plenty of roads actually, not very much traffic. So all in all, perfect for good riding. And we like to go there. Actually, we go there a lot if we don't go climbing, which we also like to do. But if we stay out of the mountains, this is our favorite place or favorite region. And as you could see here, car drivers are very kind. They often are so amazed with a larger number of velomobiles that they seize their right of way in those roundabouts and let us pass altogether. See, there's so little traffic that we're not only taking the full lane, I think we're taking the width of the entire road at this point, because you could see oncoming traffic from a large distance, and so it is actually very safe here to ride in a group and ride 3 or 4 abreast. That's very nice, and it gives you a better view of the different types of velomobiles in this group today. This is a Milan now ahead of me, and there's another Milan, a new model, just passing, and now the yellow one is an A9. And we're flying. So now at an intersection, ahead of me is a DF, the orange one. Now this ahead is a bulk. The yellow, white, and the white one in front of me now is an Alpha 7. And ahead of it is another DF. Okay, that's the Alpha 7. That's ADF, the red and white. And the yellow one ahead is the A9 in front of that, the yellow Milan. We've almost reached our destination, just this final roundabout, and off we turn onto the parking lot, bike parking of the Terra Nova restaurant and pavilion, which is an information spot. And there you see on the right 2 more Velomobiles waiting for us, for visitors to inform themselves about the coal mining activities going on here. So here we are. The rest is social. You see the big gap there in the background. I didn't have much time. I needed to head back home to do my part of the work in preparing the family dinner tonight. So just a few more shots from the lone way back. All the others stayed longer. And I was actually in a hurry, so I had to do the 60 kilometers in a much shorter time than it took us for the 60 kilometers to get here. And it worked. It worked. It's good riding. Not many stops. A few villages to cross. Not very many traffic lights, and on a Saturday afternoon the traffic is usually not too bad when you stay out of the larger urban areas with all of the shopping traffic that goes on Saturdays. So it was nice. It's good to see so many Velomobiles out. We could probably have had 10 or 12 more if we had gathered more riders from the region, but to get 15, 16 together, I think is quite amazing, and it's always a pleasure to be with such a group, as it is a pleasure to ride these roads, even when you're out on your own, like I am now. Elevation is not really worth meaning. It was about 500 meters in all. I think I've got the diagram somewhere. When I find it, I will show it to you. As I'm now taking the road towards Scenic, which is an old medieval town ahead of the Vorgebirge range. And once I have crossed the range, I'm almost home. You see, there's the elevation chart. You see the long straight bars. These are the times when we were stopped. Not much climbing, pretty fast riding, lots of fun, and a great Saturday afternoon. So I hope you liked that too, and will be with us on one of our other rides, be it Saturdays, Wednesdays, or any other of these days in Velomobile paradise. Thanks for watching. Until next time, bye-bye.